This happened last year. It's coming up on a year, January 22nd, 2022. And what had happened is I was going in for a L5S1 spinal fusion surgery with rods and screws. And um, they had sent me home the same day because there wasn't enough rooms in the hospital for me to stay, and I was fine with that. But a few hours later, after I came home, my husband and daughter came to check on me, and I was acting very strange. I couldn't answer questions. I kept like jumping up and down, and the paramedics couldn't even figure it out. But I went to the emergency room, and the attending physician I actually did get to speak to a few weeks after my NDE, and um, he said that they worked on me for over an hour to try to stabilize me because my organs were shutting down. Everything was shutting down. My kidneys, my lungs filled with fluid, and my brain was, they call it encephalopathy. It swelled, and I was getting no oxygen. And after about an hour and 15 minutes, they kind of just let me be in the emergency room with oxygen. And I believe this is the point when my NDE happened. I was completely unconscious this whole time, from when my husband and daughter found me all the way through the emergency room. And because I could see an emergency room, the whole room, I could see the walls, and I could see the bed, and I could see me connected to tubes and oxygen. And all of a sudden I was floating in this, my whole body, I could see in my mind. Nothing that I seen or heard was through physical speaking or opening my eyes. Um, all of a sudden I'm in this light grayish white space, and there were two large golden orbs that were like radiating energy. And if I slightly look to the left, again, this is all in my mind, I'm seeing this. There were 10 family members, and the orbs told me that I cannot speak to them, that they're here for me for support, but I'm not to be speaking with them. And then the orbs started talking to me, and they said that I'm here awaiting a decision. And way off in the distance, I mean, it was just never ending, gray and white. Below me was pitch black, and I could see like silhouettes of like human type figures writhing through the bottom of it. And way off in the distance was the bright white light with golden orbs going through it, a lot of them. And after they're telling me that I was awaiting a decision, they began to tell me that there's so many different levels when you pass away. You can actually end up at a different level. You know, you're not going to pass away and go straight to heaven. I know a lot of people talk about in their NDEs that they see that, but at least from what I was told, that's not the case, based on the type of person that we are here on earth, how kind and loving we are to even strangers, and you know what we've done with our life, that if it's a positive life of helping others, you seem to go to a better level, and you can actually move level to level. You're in a space for a while, but you can actually move to different levels for different purposes. They had told me that they couldn't tell me everything about the universe, because if I was able to come back to Earth, I physically would not be able to handle it. Like my brain cannot physically handle all that information. So they only gave me a little bit of information. And they told me that I needed to work on myself. It's taken me over a year to figure out what that meant. But they also told me that I needed to be here for my daughter. And I was given a vision of catastrophe, because they are not happy with our creation and the state of the world. They want things to change. It would ruin land. It would pull away land, and it would affect the majority of the world. This is how deep this cavern would be. And of a good majority, even most of the land would be gone, along with us. So I think they're trying to get this message through, that we need to stop all this horrific things that we do to each other. You know, the crime, the just awful things that we do as humans. Even, you know, what we're thinking, we need to stop it, and we need to follow what is written in the Bible, what is wanted of us. And we really, at this point, need to take it to heart, because a vast, enormous amount of the population could just disappear. And there would be a special level that, you know, the majority of these people would go to, and they would have to, you know, at that time, send individuals to different levels. But this is one of the scenarios that they are thinking of. It's not, they told me it's not just the only one that could happen. They seriously want us to change. And if we don't, one of their scenarios will happen, without a doubt. On a floor where everybody was dying from COVID. But I just woke up in this hospital room, and I had a real hard time speaking or making sentences. At one point, they did tell me, they're like, "We're sending you back. You're not gonna be here." So they sent me back, and I really don't know at what point in that 2.5 days it was, but I survived. I'm here. So my doctor and I, several doctors that I go see, they think that this all happened in the emergency room. So, you know, that's just their theory. But yeah, it was 2.5 days that I left. So it was a one specific physician that was taking care of me, and he kept coming in the room, and, you know, he was doing odd things, like wandering around the room and telling me that I should not be alive, I shouldn't be here, you're a miracle. And on the last day I was in the hospital for 5 days total. But on the last day, as he was walking out of the room, I said, "Wait." And I all of a sudden remembered what was happening to me in my NDE. And he was telling me that he believes in the near-death experiences. And, that was really comforting because I was in shock. And then I asked to talk to the pastor of the hospital, and, I'm thinking I'm crazy at this point. And he gave me a lot of comfort as well. He was the same doctor or the same pastor that I've seen prior to going into surgery. So he said as well that they believe in the near-death experiences, and he gave me a lot of comfort, said prayers for me. But I had a couple other issues going on. I was seeing a shadow figure when I came home, and I also seen a young girl. I mean, like a person sitting there. But that stuff didn't last. And then I spoke to my primary physician a few days after that, and he verified to me that, him and other doctors that he knows, they definitely believe that, this is happening, that when we separate from our body and we see our body, that's when they believe that, you're really gone. You're dead. So, but he did give me a nickname. He's been calling me Miracle Girl. I have been a bit overwhelmed because it's only been going into the 4th week now that I actually started speaking about my NDE. It was very hard for me because, I had to get over the thing where people thought I might be losing my mind. But, I have to do what is asked of me without worrying about what the world thinks about it. Getting books sent to me, and, I'm trying to get more knowledgeable on several subjects, NDEs for one, philosophy, studying the Bible, and looking into quantum physics because, I'm not a scientist. I don't know anything about it, but I had a vision last week, and I sat up in the dark and I wrote down all these elements and numbers. And later on in the day, when I researched it, it had to do with quantum physics and the spark of life. So, I'm wondering why I got this information. I mean, I put it together and it's accurate. So I think it's another thing that they may have told me about, and I'm just now comprehending it. So, really, I've been working on myself and relationships. There's been a lot of discord within the family, so I'm doing my best to try to remain calm and speak to others in better ways. There's actually been 3 incidents after my NDE where, like, we've gone out to restaurants for dinner, and I feel this magnetic pull in me towards a specific person. And then if I tune in on that person, I will receive information. Like, last week when we went out, there was this woman that I just connected to, and she got up, and I had to follow her and tell her what vision I got. And she said that, or I told her that, please don't think I'm crazy, but I have to tell you this. I know that somebody, a male figure in your life, has recently passed away, and he's very important to you. And her eyes welled up with tears, and I kind of felt bad at that point. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but I said, this person wants me to tell you that he's watching over you. Please do not worry so much about him because he's with her. And it was just amazing. I couldn't believe that it was accurate, but it did happen 2 other times. So I've been told that I'm like a archaic earth angel. I can tune into people's emotions, and I think I've always been able to do that, but now after the NDE, it's much clearer. Thing that people will start listening to their instincts and understanding through the Bible that these are not just words on paper. The majority of it is what we need to live by. Um, we have to. There's absolutely no reason for violence and all the horrible things that happen in the world. We have to stop it. We have to look inward. We have to stop all this discord. Um, just start listening to your heart and your instincts, because this world can be saved. We can be saved. But at this point, I believe it's imminent that there is going to be some type of major disaster. And the vision that I got is not earthquake or that. It's only a God given catastrophe. So I just really want everybody to start listening to their heart and what is right.